What if everything you were taught about success was backwards? You were told to chase harder, work longer, push further, grind until you break, and yet the most powerful men in history did the opposite. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth, and his secret wasn't force, it was this: confine yourself to the present. 4 words, that is it. Today I'm going to share 10 Stoic rules that will teach you to stop chasing and become someone that success simply cannot ignore. Stay until Rule 10, because Rule 10 is the one that ties every single piece of this together, and it is the one most people never learn in their entire lifetime. Let's begin. There is an invisible law that governs human attraction. The more desperately you need something, the further it moves away from you. Desperation has a scent, people feel it, opportunities feel it, life feels it. Epictetus, a man who began his life as a slave in chains, said something that changed everything. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Now listen carefully. This does not mean stop wanting a better life. It means stop needing it to feel whole. Think about this in real life. When you walk into a room terrified that people won't like you, you push them away without saying a word. But when you walk in thinking, I would prefer their respect, but I am complete without it, you become magnetic. Apply this to everything. Say to yourself, I want success, I prefer it, but I am at peace right now today exactly as I am. The moment you stop sending out the signal of lack, you stop attracting lack. You become a container that is ready to hold success. Not a cup with a hole in the bottom. Drop a comment if this hit you. I want it, but I don't need it. Most people live in 2 places that do not exist. The past, replaying old wounds, the future, rehearsing new fears. And because their mind is scattered across time, their power is scattered too. Seneca wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Think of your mind like a magnifying glass. If it shakes across 100 spots, it creates nothing, but held perfectly still on one point, it generates fire. Presence is power, and in a world of distracted people, a fully present person is almost supernatural. When you are present in your work, you produce excellence. When you are present with the people you love, you build something real. When you are present in this moment, you become available to receive what life is trying to give you. Your real life is not waiting for you somewhere in the future. It is happening right now, in the way you breathe, in the way you speak, in the way you handle this single, quiet moment. Step out of the waiting room, step into the arena of today. Here's the lie that modern society tells you: a good life is a life without problems. So when a problem arrives, a lost job, a broken relationship, a failed plan, you think something has gone wrong. You think you have failed. Marcus Aurelius saw it completely differently. He wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is not blocking your path. The obstacle is the path. Think of fire. A small candle in a strong wind blows out, but a bonfire, that same wind makes it grow stronger. You must become the bonfire. Every rejection is teaching you resilience. Every failure is refining your character. Every closed door is redirecting you somewhere better. When you stop fighting your problems and start asking, how can I use this? You become unstoppable, not because your circumstances changed, but because you did. Comment. My obstacles are my teachers. How many times today did you give your power away? To the driver who cut you off, to the comment that bothered you, to the news that made you anxious, to the opinion of someone who doesn't even know your name. Every time your peace depends on something outside of you, you are living as a slave. Epictetus, who was a literal slave, understood this more than anyone. He said, men are disturbed not by things, but by their opinions about things. Nothing outside of you has power over your inner state unless you give it that power. When you reclaim your inner authority, something extraordinary happens. You stop leaking energy into things that don't matter, and that energy, reclaimed, focused, directed, becomes the fuel for everything you're trying to build. People are drawn to those who cannot be rattled. Opportunities flow to those who are stable. Decide today, no external event will steal your peace without your permission. When you become the master of your own mind, you become the architect of your own life. We live in a culture that has confused motion with progress. A rocking chair moves constantly, but it never gets anywhere. The Stoics understood the power of strategic stillness, not laziness, not giving up, but the wisdom to know when to act and when to wait for clarity. If you plant a seed and dig it up every 5 minutes to check if it is growing, you kill the plant. You water it, you give it sunlight, and then you trust the process. Most of what we call taking action is actually just anxiety wearing a productive mask. We move frantically because we are afraid things won't work out. But frantic action produces expensive mistakes. When you are still enough, you begin to hear something quieter than noise, your intuition. An inspired action taken from a place of clarity and calm, produces 10 times the results with a fraction of the effort. Be still enough to receive the direction you need, then move. Most people treat gratitude like a thank you note written only after they get what they want. The Stoics used gratitude before. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Not as a motivational poster, as a daily discipline. Here is why this matters. When you're grateful, your brain begins to search for more things to be grateful for. You start noticing opportunities your complaining mind was completely blind to. Gratitude is not just philosophy. It is a lens that changes what you see, and what you see determines what you attract. Start every morning with 3 things, not grand things, small things: the warmth of sunlight, the taste of your first drink, the simple fact that you woke up. A grateful heart is not weak or passive. It is a magnet. We believe our emotions are reactions to the world. I am angry because of what they did. I am afraid because of what might happen. But the Stoics knew the truth. Emotions are not caused by events. They are caused by the story we tell ourselves about events. Change the story and the emotion changes. Seneca wrote, "A mind that seeks truth stays focused on what is eternal, not what is temporary." When a powerful emotion rises, fear, jealousy, anger, do not fight it. Do not push it down, observe it. Ask yourself, what thought am I believing right now that is creating this feeling? 9 times out of 10, the feeling is built on a story. A story that, when examined clearly, begins to lose its power. When you master your emotional state, you stop leaking energy into drama, reaction, and regret. And all of that recovered energy gets channeled directly into your vision. Type in the comments, "I am the master of my emotions." Here is a paradox the Stoics lived by. The fastest way to attract more is to genuinely feel that you already have enough. This is not settling, this is strategy. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would regularly spend days living like a poor man. Simple food, rough clothes, no luxury, not as punishment, but as proof to himself that his happiness was not rented from his bank account. This made him fearless. When you are not afraid of losing what you have and not desperate for what you don't, you operate from pure power. You take bigger risks, you speak more honestly. You attract wealth not to fill a hole, but because you have become a match for it. You manifest from fullness, not from emptiness. The person who needs nothing fears nothing. And a fearless person is one of the most attractive forces in the universe. You cannot manifest a life that belongs to someone else. Many of us are chasing goals that were never actually ours, the career our parents wanted, the success that impresses our neighbors, the version of ourselves that gets the most approval. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." When you live a life that is not truly yours, you create friction. Internal resistance. Like driving with your foot on the brake. But when you have the courage to be authentic, to say what you actually think, to pursue what genuinely moves you, to show your real face to the world, the brake releases. The right people find you. The right doors open not because you forced them, but because you finally stopped standing in your own way. The universe does not reward performance. It rewards authenticity. Stop trying to fit into a mold that was never shaped for you. This is the rule that ties everything together. And it is the one that most people spend their entire lives resisting. You must learn to trust divine timing. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate. We think we know when things should happen. We want the breakthrough now, the relationship now, the success now. But the universe has a much broader view than we do. Sometimes a delay is protection. Sometimes the reason something hasn't arrived yet is because you haven't yet grown into the person who can hold it. If you give a small child $1 million, you don't change their life for the better. You overwhelm them because they haven't yet built the character to carry it. The universe waits until you are ready. And here is the most important thing. When you truly trust the timing, you relax. And as we said at the very beginning of this journey, relaxation is the key to magnetism. When you trust, you stop being anxious. When you stop being anxious, you stop pushing things away. You do your work with joy. You treat people with genuine kindness. You keep your heart open. You stop fighting the river, and you start flowing with it. You now hold the same 10 rules that guided emperors, slaves, and sages across 2,000 years of human history. But here is the truth you must face right now. Wisdom without action is just entertainment. If you close this video and return to the same habits, the same anxiety, the same chasing, the same reacting, then everything we explored together today was wasted. The Stoics did not have vision boards. They did not wish on stars. They had a vision of character, because they understood the deepest law of human life. You do not get what you want. You get who you are. So make one commitment right now. Pick one rule from today. Just one. And apply it for the next 24 hours. Watch what happens to the people around you. Watch what happens to the opportunities that appear. Watch what happens inside you. When you stop chasing and simply become, your journey is not beginning. It has already begun. If this video gave you something real, share it with one person who needs it today. Subscribe if you want to walk this path together. And comment below, what are you going to manifest using these rules? I will see you in the next one. Stay still, stay strong, stay sovereign.